It's time for Baby and Toddler Instructions with host Blythe Lipman. Blythe is a nationally renowned infant and toddler expert who has over 30 years' experience helping moms and dads regain their sanity, teaching them how to survive, and giving them the confidence they need to be the best parents ever. From sleeping to crying to potty training to choosing a preschool and so much more. If you're a parent, Baby and Toddler Instructions is the show you've been looking for. Now here's your host, Blythe Lipman.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is not Blythe Lipman today. This is Sandra Beck, and I am hosting the 200th show for Blythe Lipman, and she is our guest today. So we're going to flip the tables around. We're going to turn things back in time, and we're going to talk about over 200 shows that Blythe Lipman has under her belt. Blythe, I got to ask you, do you remember back to your first radio show?
Oh, my gosh, I'll never forget it. I swore if anybody ever listened to it again, I was going to be so embarrassed. Absolutely. And I went over all my notes, and it's really funny. I can't wait to talk about everything with you, Sandra. It's so funny.
You know, who was your first guest? I'm curious.
My first guest was myself with the first show because I didn't know I should have a guest. And boy, 1 hour feels like 25 hours when you've never done a radio show. But after that, my first guest was my son because he's an actor, and I had him come on the show and talk about being an actor when you're a toddler because he started when he was 12 years old at community theater, and he talked about what the parents have to do and how the kids have so much fun, and it teaches them, skills, all kinds of things, listening skills, everything. And he actually talked and calmed me down. And it was really fun because the information was terrific. It's great to get your little ones into theater if you can. And I know here the theater's Desert Stages, and they take children at 4 years old. So anyway, that was my first guest.
I'm curious, Blythe, why did you decide to host a radio show? I mean, did you wake up one day and go, ooh, I want to be on the radio?
Let me say this. I was fortunate enough to be able to try a radio show, and I fell in love. And the reason I wanted to do it was I thought it was a terrific venue to get my information out to so many parents all over the world. Babies come without instructions, and maybe a little later in the show we can talk about my books and how they came about. But I have to say, you live in a particular state and you can only get your information out so far. And this was 5 years ago. And now that the internet is just much, much different, as we know, it reaches so many people. It was a terrific way for me to help new parents. And I would get questions all the time. My baby won't sleep through the night. They won't stop crying. They're colicky. And I thought, this is great. I can answer these questions on air and I can have terrific experts. Because I'm not a doctor, I don't touch the medical thing. I'm not a doula, I'm not a midwife, and I just really loved being able to get the message out to a lot of people at the same time. And also, I could get callers, and I see the phones ringing now, and I love callers because I love talking to people and engaging them. And anyway, that's why I wanted to do a show. And 5 years later, my first show was in 2009 in November. 5 years later, here I am, and I hope I can continue to do this because I just love it.
Blythe, we're going to take a walk down memory lane because our wonderful friend in New Hampshire, Robin, came up with a clip from your very first show, and that is
my gosh.
And we're going to play it for everybody to listen to see how far you've come, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. So, Casey, if you could cue up Blythe Lipman from, what is this, 2009. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Should I go under the desk?
You might want to, but that's the greatest thing about radio. It's live, and we record it, and we can play it again 5 years later.
Oh, good morning. Here I am. And here you are. Let's get acquainted. I'm wondering how many of you are sitting in your rocking chairs now with your little bundle swaddled in your arms, or with your toddler with his blankie and his thumb in his mouth, impatiently waiting. Help! Where are the instructions? Everything else comes with instructions. I don't get it. We buy things at the store. The first thing we look for are the instructions, not that we can understand them. But where are those instructions? We bring home our most precious possession, and nobody tells you what to do. So I'm here to give you every instruction you will ever need. So, let's see. Since this is my first show, let's get acquainted. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I'm the owner of Baby Instructions, which is my company that's headquartered in Scottsdale, Arizona. And yes, we do have great weather. Believe it or not, I know everybody says, oh, it's so hot, it's so hot. Anyway, so my company, Baby Instructions, is in Scottsdale, and I am a baby and toddler expert. I've taken care of over 1,000 babies and toddlers in 25-plus years, and I love it. They're great. So anyway, I started out with babies when I was 11 years old, and I just love babies. And I love toddlers, and I love the parents even more. You guys are just great. I went to college, and I got married, and I had 2 wonderful children, Lindsay and Andrew, and I always worked in daycare. When I went to college, I had a really good friend that was a doctor, and he took me into the NICU unit, and I was allowed to go in and rock and hold and love these little 2, 3, 4-pound babies. They would never do it today. Don't worry. They don't let volunteers in there. I loved the moms. I always had my arm around a mom, and I always listened and held their hand because it's scary. Help! Where are the instructions? And then I decided when running the infant rooms, parents would come in and say, what am I supposed to do? Every day it was a question. And I know that all of you probably have hundreds of books. There's wonderful, wonderful books on the market. But what I've found is the books are really hard. The books don't give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So,
okay, I think we got rid of Blythe from 2009. But thank you, Casey, for bringing that on. Now, how are we doing on time, Blythe? Have we got time to take a caller?
We do. I think we have a caller.
Okay, Casey, can we bring on our caller? We've got a whole bunch of callers calling in today. Look at the queue. We're going to have a busy show. Blythe, how many guests do you think you've had on? You've had multiple guests on certain shows. How many guests do you think you've interviewed in your lifetime with your career radio?
I probably had about 220 guests at least, because after learning that I'm not talking for an hour and people have so much information to share, I wanted a guest on every week. So, anyway, is anybody on the line?
Hi, it's Lindsay.
Hey, Lynn, how are you today?
Well, sorry, I'm on a plane, so I have a little noise in the background, but I just wanted to say hello, and I'm so proud of my mom, and this is so exciting that she's had 200 shows, and she is the foremost expert to get baby tips from. I don't think there's anybody else that I would get baby and toddler tips from. So I love you, Mom, and congratulations.
Thanks for calling, Lindsay. You have a safe flight. And don't forget Lindsay's picture's on the front of the book. Without her, I wouldn't be sitting here. Without Andrew, thank you for calling in.
Bye.
Have a safe flight. Love you. Bye. And,
So,
I just want to say one more thing. Robin, love you too. Thank you. You know what? That was really funny. And I have to say, I learned so much in 5 years. And I was so nervous. And listening to me, I'm glad you edited out TogiNet or whatever I said. Because it's so funny. And I'm so excited, Sandra. Thank you for hosting. I'm sitting here, I'm so excited. I wish it wasn't 10 after 8 in the morning, because I would have toasted everybody, all my wonderful guests, the host, with some wine. So what I did was I poured my coffee in a wine glass. I'm going to have to do a selfie and post it.
That, I think, is great, Blythe. I need to take us to commercial break. This is Baby and Toddler Instructions with your guest host, Sandra Beck, and we are celebrating 200 shows under Blythe Lipman's belt. You got to check her out on iTunes under Baby and Toddler Instructions. You can go to TogiNet and look up her over 200 shows as of today that have great information on everything you could possibly want to know about child raising. And more importantly, I want you to go to Amazon and look up her books. Her books come in English. Her books come in Spanish. They're so great. I have a set myself. I don't know how any parent could live without the Baby and Toddler Instructions, as Blythe so aptly put it earlier on in the show. these kids don't come with instructions. And I don't care if you had one, you had two, you have five. They're all different. Everybody can benefit from her work. So when we come back from the break, we are going to talk about Blythe Lipman's career in radio, and we're going to bring on some special guests.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. Do you feel like when you watch a cooking show or read a food magazine that the recipes are not practical for a busy family? Do you wish you could have a conversation with someone about the best way to get dinner on the table fast after a long day at work? Are you tired of cooking dinner only to have your family turn up their nose at all of your hard work? Do you want to hear more about healthy living and finding more time to find your passion in life? Well, pull up a chair and visit with Heather Tallman, host of Around the Kitchen Sink, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. here on TogiNet Radio. Like many women, finding balance in life and time to take care of yourself is hard to do. Between managing a career and marriage and children and a busy family schedule, it's hard to maintain a sense of self. And Heather shares how she does it. Check out Heather's website, basilmama.com. Join us for food and a whole lot more on Around the Kitchen Sink with your host, Heather Tallman, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. The hour for all moms with little ones like time for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Hey, moms and dads, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm filling in for Blythe Lipman today, just as a host, because she's here with us today, and she is our guest on Baby and Toddler Instructions on TogiNet Radio, because she has achieved a huge milestone in her career. And I've got to tell you, as a radio host myself, it is not easy to do 200 shows. It is not easy to do 200 shows on the same topic. It's very easy to go all over the map, but that just shows you how deep Blythe Lipman's information level goes with respect to the baby and toddler lifestyle and what parents need to do to make parenting a success and make parenting fun. Because, you know, Blythe, one of the things that happens when you have a new baby is that it's so stressful, and you are a magician at taking the stress out of these situations.
Thanks, Sandra. You know, I just love it. I was talking to a mom that's having a baby next month, and it's funny because she said, I have all these plans, and I said, you know, it's great, but wait till you see the baby and have the baby in your arms. Your plans may go out the window because you don't know, and there's so much to learn, and I love what I do. I love seeing parents be confident. You know, I'll tell you an interesting story. I went into a home a few years ago, and the baby was about 6 months old and would not go to sleep in his crib. He cried, and he was smart enough that he knew if he cried, mom and dad would come in, and this was a real struggle. So I taught them how to get him to go to sleep. I am not one to have babies cry it out. You know, they cry for a reason. And I taught them a method that I have in my books to pat the baby's bottom and to just kind of shush him quietly and play some music. And when I go into a home and do a consult, I don't do it. I know how to get the baby to go to sleep in the crib. I show the parents how to do it. And I will never, ever forget this. I walked out of the room, and mom and dad were both in there patting little baby's back and bottom and saying shh, and they had their quiet lullaby music on. And they walked out of the room with the biggest grin I have ever seen. They were so proud of themselves, and they sent me a note later in the day that said it was the longest nap this baby ever took. And I kept up with him. And, you know, after that, the baby napped because basically they let him see that his crib was a safe place and it was time to go to sleep, and it was okay. And I'll never forget, I can still see these parents' faces right now. They were just so proud of themselves. And that's better than any check in the world, honestly.
Well, and I would pay $1 million, to get my kids to bed some nights, so I can see why people would hire you, as a parenting coach. Blythe, both of my kids were really premature. And the nice thing about a premature kid, there's not many nice things, but the one thing is they come home from the hospital, kind of all on a schedule and everything. And the baby nurse that helps you when they come home, teaches you all this stuff. And, for me, I lived 3,000 miles away from my family. My dad was sick with cancer, so my mom couldn't help me. I was on my own. And that baby nurse, like, she would try to leave and I would grab her collar and like yank her back in. And I'm like, tell me this, because there's so much to learn. But not everybody has that opportunity to have, like for me, I had instruction from the baby nurse from the NICU. But they can hire you, which I think is really a great idea. I never thought about hiring a baby coach, but now that I know what I know with respect to the nurses that help me, from everything to breastfeeding to burping the baby, all these things, it's so different when it's your own. Do you find that your coaching practice gives you an opportunity to really make a difference with, especially young parents? But you know what? I was an old parent and I needed help. So, just parents.
It does make a difference. And it's interesting because parents will tell me the biggest thing I hear now is that everybody tells them everything and then they go online. And most parents that I meet, especially here in Arizona, I don't know if it's all over, but they don't have grandma down the street. They don't have somebody that's a relative. I met somebody yesterday. She said, we have absolutely no family here, and I'm having a baby in 3 weeks. Help. I need your help. And she was the sweetest woman. But I find that being the support person, also, once I do a consult, I make sure that my families have my phone number, and I want them to call me on my phone, and I want them to send me an email. If they're, in the middle of being so tired and your baby won't stop screaming, just to hear another voice that says, it's okay. You know what? Let me tell you how to do this. I've had parents call me and they'll go, listen to the baby crying. He's screaming bloody murder. I don't know what's wrong with him. Should I take him to the hospital? And I'll say, you know what? He's fine. It's not a pain cry. It's not, he's just really tired, or she's just really tired, because they don't know, and you don't know your baby's cues when you first come home. You don't understand what the cries mean, and you're so tired. After the adrenaline calms down and all the relatives or your friends, if you happen to have people that do come in from out of town, when all that calms down, then you want to know what the baby wants, and you don't know, and you do learn it. So, I love being the substitute family member, if I may, and help these new parents.
Well, and it's funny that you said the thing about like being so tired. I called it like the zombie days because, especially my little preemie, he didn't hit, he was almost 3 months early. So by the time he hit, his infant, newborn stage, I was already wiped out. And I remember my mom flying out, maybe 3 months after he was born, or 4 months. And, she stayed with me for the weekend, and I got up in the morning and I was so happy, Blythe, because he had slept through the night. I had slept through the night. And then I looked at my mom's face. She was sitting at the kitchen table with this like mug of coffee all hunched over. And I'm like, Mom, what's wrong? And she goes, he didn't sleep through the night. I walked him all over the house.
Oh, gosh.
And, some of these babies can wipe out 2 really successful functioning adults in a day or 2.
You know what? They can. And the biggest thing that I find, and I tell new moms this all the time, do not be super mom. Let the dishes wait. Let the laundry wait. Ask somebody if they want to help you. Just say thank you, because you should be napping when the baby naps. That nighttime can be a real mess. And by 3 o'clock, you've been up 16 times. You have like had it.
Absolutely. And there's many of us these days that have to work full time. Like for me, I was doing a book deal with Simon & Schuster. So my baby was born on a Sunday and they were calling me that Monday. I kid you not. And there's many of us today, especially single parents like I am, where, you know what? There's things you have to do, and you're right. Let the dishes go. Let the laundry go. I was the queen. I think I bought like 400 pairs of underwear the first year my kid was born because I wasn't doing the laundry. And I'm like, well, you know what? I've got to get diapers at Walmart. Oh my God, here's some panties and a bra and a shirt.
I think that's great. You know, it's funny too. You're talking about your boys and preemies. When I went to school, I went to Boston University, and I was fortunate enough to meet a nice friend. He was a doctor, and he let me come into the NICU unit. I volunteered, and I probably actually spent more time there than I did doing my papers. And don't get scared; they won't let you do that now. And looking at these little 3-pound, 2-pound even babies, 4-pound babies, and looking at the mothers, and it just, I mean, you know, those of you that have preemies, it puts the extra stress on you, but I can say they're so strong. They grow so fast, and they do grow up to be great. But watching, you know, I remember, you know, how you put your hands into the isolette and you can touch the baby because they're so little and fragile, and their skin is so fragile. I just remember watching moms doing that and do that myself. And, you know, that's what's important, not the laundry. Go buy more. Listen to Sandra. Go buy more panties when you're shopping for whatever it is that you need, or ask somebody to help you do the laundry. It's okay. Pay attention to the baby.
That's right. Pay attention to the baby. And I'm going to say something, and then I'd like to read an endorsement from you about having a preemie. It's entirely okay to call your mom and go, oh, my God, you should see him. His eyes are crossed. His skin is blue. He's got a big shunt in his head. This is frightening. This is creepy. This is like a sci-fi movie, because it kind of is. And you'll get over that, and then everything will be fine, and you'll go happily on ever after. But that's a total normal reaction. That's the one I had. But I have an endorsement that I would like to read, speaking of doctors, from Dr. Gary Witt. That just came in, and he said, congratulations, Blythe, on show number 200. I remember when we first started talking about the possibility of how nervous you were, even though you had done many hours of radio and television interviews. It would not be the same when it was your show, and it was going to last a whole hour, not just a few minutes. So I am amazed at how many hours you work each week to make every show interesting. You've had dozens and dozens of interesting guests who have given so much important information to your listeners. But it isn't just the guests, Blythe. It's the light, breezy, and fun approach that you've always taken, making your guests and listeners feel like they're sitting around chatting with you. And when show number 400 rolls on, I bet we'll be saying the same thing. It was so nice to spend an hour with you, Blythe. You are warm and funny. You are wonderful in person as you are in your show. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. And that's from Dr. Gary Witt. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
You know, Blythe, it's amazing to me. I'm watching the stuff come in on Facebook. I'm watching the stuff come in through Twitter and the emails. You have reached thousands and thousands of parents and helped them through the parenting process. When you look back at your 200 shows, what are you most proud of?
Gosh, that's a big question. I have to say, I am most proud of me, not to toot my own horn. I never thought I would do this. Listening to that first show with that Robin put on, I never thought I would get to this place. And I have to say, I love doing my show every week as much as I did the second show. I'm not going to say the first because I was nervous. And I am proud of the fact that I have people call me all the time, and that I have, this month I had over 30,000 downloads of my radio show, that I'm important enough and I can help so many people make those first years easier. You know, what I say is, yes, I have hundreds of tips. I can teach parents all kinds of things, but I teach confidence. And when you're a confident parent and you pick up that baby, and I don't know who's smile is bigger, mom, dad, baby, grandparents. When I see that and I can do that, I am proud to be a part of everybody's lives that I've touched. And I see, you know, these babies that I took care of at 6 weeks, they're now 12 years old. And boy, I'll tell you, I may feel old, but I am just so proud of being part of their life and still being able to keep in touch. So thanks for asking that question.
Blythe, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to call you
Thanks.
My friend. I'm so proud to be a part of this moment. It's very exciting. You know, anybody who's done any sort of radio or television knows what a huge milestone it is to have 200 shows under your belt. That means 200 hours of programming, and that's a lot of work. And you've got to make it interesting. You've got to make it fun. You've got to make it valuable to stay on the air that long. And I will tell you, Blythe is one of the best in the business, not just for baby and toddler instructions, but for creating a fun and entertaining radio program. And for those of you joining us today for the first time with Baby and Toddler Instructions, I welcome you to come back on the break because we're going to talk about Blythe and how she dressed a dog in a bikini to talk about swim safety. You're not going to want to miss this. More after the break.
We'll be right back with more help. For help, my baby came without instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these.
Baby love, my baby love, I need you, oh, I need you.
LinkedIn. It's a great tool, and Carol McManus is the LinkedIn lady. With the LinkedIn Lady Show, Wednesday afternoons at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com. The LinkedIn Lady Show is here to show you and your business how every social media site has a specific demographic, personality, and purpose that can benefit you. The LinkedIn Lady will have interviews each week with a variety of guests, such as business owners who will showcase their businesses and talk about how they're using social media to stay in touch with not only customers, but to attract new relationships that become customers. Other guests will be experts in social media who will speak to the use of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Plaxo, Squidoo, and of course, LinkedIn. For more on Carol and the show, check out her website, LinkedInLady.com. Join us, won't you? Every Wednesday afternoon at 5, 4 Central. It's the LinkedIn Lady Show with host Carol McManus on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. The hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present Baby and Toddler Instructions, Blythe Lipman, and her 200th show today. We couldn't be prouder of Blythe. My name is Sandra Beck. I am the fill-in host today because our guest today is no other than Blythe Lipman. And I think Nina Shapiro, she's a doctor, she's a director of pediatric otolaryngology, professor of head and neck surgery at UCLA School of Medicine. She just wrote in a bushel of congratulations on your 200th show milestone. You have such a loving gift for babies, toddlers, and their parents. And aren't healthy, happy babies and toddlers the most important thing in the world? So keep up the good work, Blythe, and you're great at being a friend, too. Now, Nina, when she wrote in, Blythe, said, I always love being on your show, and who else would dress their pooch in a bikini to welcome in a swim session? So I want to hear a little bit more about that show.
You know, I have to tell you, I have Lucy and Desi. Lucy is a Chorky, a Chihuahua Yorkie, and Desi is a Schnorky, a Schnauzer Yorkie. So I have a Schnorky and a Chorky. And it's really funny. I want to tell you how this started. One of our previous radio hosts, Juliana Liddon, who is connected with Juliana, she was doing videos, and she said, you really should do a video for your radio show. It's really fun, and I would watch her videos. And I thought, okay, but I was nervous, and I love to laugh, and I thought, I'm bringing the dogs in. So that's how it started with the dogs, and of course, I love dressing them up. And it got to be summer, and I saw the cutest bikini for the dog in Walmart. And I had to have it. And Lucy, if you watch my video, she looks like she's on drugs. She just sits there. She doesn't care what I do with her. She's really so funny. And Desi is either licking me or I don't know, doing something. So actually a couple weeks ago, my guest was Bob Hubbard from the Hubbard Family Swim School. And he was going to talk about swimming. And so I put Lucy in her bikini again because it was so appropriate. And I have to say, if you have dogs, yes, this is for babies and toddlers and families, but I always did pool school with my dogs because when I had a pool, I wanted my dogs to know how to get out of the pool and where the steps were. So I would put them in, not throw them, and I would show them where the steps were. So we had pool school, but you know, it never dawned on me to put bathing suits on them. So, hey, that could be the next thing.
Oh, Blythe, that's the best part of you. You make so much of this stuff fun, and you give us permission to laugh at ourselves as parents, to be silly, to have a great time. And you know what? We've got a caller that just called in. We've got Robin on the line, and I'd like to bring her on because she has something to say to you about your 200th show. Robin, are you there?
Hi, everyone. I am here. Hi, San. Hi, Blythe. Congratulations,
Hi, Robin.
dear. Oh, I am so proud of you, but I'm also so grateful to you, Blythe. I have to say, even though my kids are grown, I honestly look back and think, wow, I don't know how I did it. And to have the resource that you offer to new parents is just such a gift. And I just want to thank you for all of the families that are out there to do what you're doing and to continue doing what you're doing. And just to give parents permission to be able to take a break and to be able to leave the dishes in the sink and to be able to put your feet up when you're really that tired. Having somebody acknowledge that and say, you know, it's okay, you need to do that, just kind of is the light bulb that kind of hits us and say, okay, I'm going to do it. And then you can conquer anything. So, Blythe, thank you so very much.
Oh, Robin, thank you so much. My heart is going to burst, honestly. I don't know whether to cry or what to do. This is so great. Thank you. Because I do love what I do. And I wish somebody gave me permission. You know, when you have your own children, you don't give yourself permission. Even though I had taken care of babies since I was 11, I wanted to be super mom too, and I had to learn. So thank you for saying that. It means a lot. I'm so happy you called in.
Love you. Congratulations.
Love you too.
Take care, ladies.
Thanks, Robin.
Yep.
Blythe, one of the things that I love about you and your show is you do such a great job promoting your guests. You're enthusiastic about them. I'd like to talk a little bit about the guests that you've had. You had to have like some bad guests. I mean, no matter how wonderful we try to do things in our life, there's always going to be a clinker. So I want to know about your bad guests. I want to know about your funniest guests. I want to know about your favorite guests. Just tell me the whole thing. Give me the dish, because that's what we do on Internet Talk Radio is we talk about the fun things in our lives. And that had to be, you know, especially the worst guest. You got to tell me, who was your worst guest? And I know you can't name names. But
I'm not going to name names. And I have to tell you, in 200 shows, I only had one guest that I really did not know what to do. I think I was sitting here in such a funk thinking, what should I do? Because this guest was actually bad-mouthing. She was bad-mouthing potty training. I'll say that much. And she was going so overboard that I was typing in the stack saying, should I get rid of her? What should I do? I mean, and she wasn't using nice language, and she was saying bad words, and she was saying bad things. And it was just horrible because, you know, everybody has a right to their own opinion. And she was talking about how people don't potty train their kids right. And it's like, oh my goodness. So that was really very uncomfortable. My best guests are all my guests. I mean, I love my guests, and I have so much fun because I have a lot of guests, and I don't know if you do too, because you host wonderful shows, Sandra. For those of you that don't know, you host 2 shows. But I find that my guests that haven't been on before are so nervous. And it's so much fun because they'll say to me, I wasn't even nervous. I had such a good time on your show. And that just warms my heart because I like to put people at ease. And my favorite guest, I don't even know where to go. I'm sitting here looking. I had so many guests. I loved Karen Labilia, and she wrote a book called French Kids Eat Everything, How to Get Your Kids to Eat, which was terrific. And I love Alan Klein, who just has a new book. He did Mom's the Word. He's a jollytologist, and he makes people smile. Or Joyce Saltman was a professional comedian. I had a guest, Bottled Up, that talked about, this was a wonderful show. She talked about the fact that if you couldn't breastfeed, it was okay. You know, that things happen. Turning no to on with Beth Generous. You know, the fatigue prescription, I love Linda. I love Linda Clever. She was going to be my guest today, and we realized it was my 200th show, so she'll be on in May. She wrote the fatigue prescription, and it's like sitting down and having cookies and milk when you talk to Linda. Josephine, I'm sitting here looking at the box of Glovies, who has Paying It Forward before the show before me. I mean, I could go on and on and on. One of the funniest shows. Actually, I had two. I had two girls on, and they're on Facebook. Their site is called You Know You Suck as a Mom. And it's hysterical because people write in why they suck as a mom. And I was looking this morning, and one little kid said, you know you suck as a mom when your child says, my teacher wasn't in school today and we had a prostitute teacher instead. Instead of a substitute. Or there was another one that says, you know you suck as a mom when somebody burps and farts and your 4-year-old yells, that's a good one. I mean, it's really funny. And the other funny one, I had Adam Mansbach on, and he wrote a book called Go the F, I'm not going to say the word, Go the F to Bed for adults. And every page is about how your child, wants a glass of water, wants one more kiss, wants one more book. And his book title is Go the F to Bed. The word is on the book. And that was for the parents. It was very funny. And he since wrote a book called Just Go to Bed for the children, which doesn't have, swear words in it. That was pretty funny. I could go on and on, like Allison Rhodes Jacobson. She's the safety mom. She shares such great information about keeping your kids safe, or the fire safety people. I've had a pediatrician, a dietitian, a foot doctor, you name it. I have tried to, and I am continue to try to have people from every venue, because yes, you're a mom, yes, you're a dad, but you can't be a mom and dad 24/7. You have to have girlfriend time. You have to have date night or partner night or whatever it is. It's okay to step back and also be a person, because before you had that baby, you did go out with girlfriends and you did go out with your partner and you did do other things. And also, you know what? It's great for the baby to get used to some other people. And there's chapters in both of my books about how to hire a nanny, how to hire a babysitter. It's so important to just not be the mom, dad, 24/7. You come back and yes, you love your baby. I can't stress that enough, because I'll have moms that say, I can't leave my baby. And it's like, you know what? It's okay. And my rule of thumb is, if you do have girlfriend time, keep it 10 minutes talking about your children. Then have a glass of wine or happy hour, whatever you enjoy doing, and enjoy it, and don't make it all about, what your baby's doing and problems and questions. Anyway, I could go on and on, Sandra. I just love my guest.
Well, and I love that you also learn so much from your guests. It's amazing how, even as an expert, and I'm sure you've experienced this, that you've learned a lot from your guests over the years.
I've learned so much. I was looking back over everything, and it's really interesting. Cynthia Boggs is an esthetician, and one of the things that I share all the time is avocado oil. Avocado oil is so great for chapped lips, for under the chapped nose when your little ones, they get that runny nose and it's so red. I love, Cynthia Boggs has been on a couple times, and she has such great tips. Also, I'm trying to think, Connie Grunning, who's on my show, she's a reviewer extraordinaire. She reviews everything. She's on the show once a month for about 3 minutes and talks about what's hot and what's not. The first time I had her on, she had something called toe juice, it's an antiseptic, but it's called toe juice. And I thought it was hysterical, but it really works. Like, we have things like butt paste or things that you don't know about that help. And even tips. When I had my guest on about swimming, he talked about how parents can help their children when they're afraid of the water. And we talked about the parents being afraid of the water. So I have learned so much and met so many wonderful people. Excuse me. And I'm so excited to keep going with this.
Well, you know what, Blythe? I've got to take us to commercial break, and I would like you, before we go to break, to talk about where can people find your books and how can they hire you?
They can find my books on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. I'm on Audible.com, and you can call my office at 480-510-1453 to hire me. I do Skype calls, so we can do video. I do telephone calls. If you live in the Arizona area that's close, I will come into your house and actually do an in-home consultation So again, you can call me at 480-510-1453, and May is coming. A lot of babies are born May and June. My books make great gifts. So, take a look, and you can always contact me via my 2 websites, babyinstructions.com, and my newest, which I love as well, is mybestparentingadvice.com. So check that one out. Sandra's on there. And check out her site, too, Bouncing with Style. I love it.
All right, we're going to be back after the break.
We'll be right back with more Help My Baby Came Without Instructions. It's Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet. We'll be right back right after these. If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MarlaTabaka.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. What does reboot mean? Ever wonder why your connection to the world through your computer does not work as flawlessly as most of your ability to breathe? ISP Radio Network explains the why and how the internet works. Learn the insight and secrets that your internet provider may not be telling you or even want you to know. Gain the confidence to proclaim that you are no longer technically illiterate. You may call him a techno gearhead or network guru, but Stephen Graybill, your host, is a person driven by a passion to serve people fast internet, as well as empowering internet users with simple skills to maintain their fast internet. This is ISP Radio Network, a place where internet service providers and the self-proclaimed technically challenged users of the internet meet weekly to share ideas of what makes the internet work or how to make the internet work better. Don't miss ISP Radio with your host, Stephen Graybill, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Central, right here on the Rockstar Radio Network. Welcome back to Baby and Toddler Instructions with Blythe Lipman on TogiNet, the hour for all moms with little ones to come for great advice, encouragement, and great ideas for all new parents. Now, back to the show with Blythe Lipman.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Blythe Lipman, and this is her 200th anniversary show, and I know, woo! The lines have lit up today like you wouldn't believe. So I've got 5 callers on hold. So we're going to bring them on and see what they have to say. Caller number 1, are you with us? Who do we have coming up? We've got a caller. Your name, please?
Maureen.
Hi, Maureen. Welcome to the show. You have a message for Blythe today on her 200th anniversary. Go ahead.
I do. I have been a faithful follower of Blythe's for since the beginning, and I just wanted to say that I love giving her book as a new baby present when parents have brand new babies because they don't know what to do with their little ones. And now that she's got the toddler instructions, when the little kid gets a little bit older, you can give that as a gift too. And I have gotten so many thanks from new parents that they just love the book. It is easy to read. It's quick to read. It is so funny. And I just want to say congratulations to Blythe on her 200th show. She's excellent.
Thanks, Maureen. You're just great, and I so appreciate it. Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. Hooray!
Yay, thanks.
All right. Wow, Blythe, and you didn't even have to pay her to say that. That means
I
that
didn't.
no. You've got a great product out there. So we've got another caller coming up, so we're going to bring on, who are we bringing on, Casey? Who's coming up next? There we go.
Hello.
Gotta love live radio. Hi, who do we have on? Who do we have today? Who's calling in?
Can you hear me, Sandra? It's Josephine.
Oh,
It's Josephine.
I know that voice. That would be Josephine Gerasi. You were talking about her earlier
Great.
in the
Okay.
show, Blythe.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys, but I just want to thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this very, very special show. I want to congratulate Blythe on her 200th show. This is so exciting, and I can't tell you the information that Blythe has shared with so many moms and dads out there has just really, it brings goosebumps to my arms because she's such an amazing radio host, and we all love her books.
Josephine, thank you so much, and I love your show too. And I have Glovies sitting right here. Everybody should buy Glovies. That's what Josephine does. Josephine, thank you for calling in. I so love you and appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Blythe, and keep up the great work. We really love having you as a host. I love going before you and listening into all of your shows. So enjoy all of your callers and have a great show. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Sandra.
You. Bye-bye.
That was Josephine Gerasi of the product line Glovies. She also has a radio show called Pay It Forward. And we've got a message from the universe while Casey gets the next person on the line. We're giving Casey a run for his money today, Blythe. Casey is our show producer. We want to thank him for all that we've put him through today. Here's a message from the universe. Look how much you have, Blythe. Look how far you've come. Look how fast it happened, and you have to admit how easy it was. In spite all of your fears, worries, and self-doubts, you're going to remember this day, Blythe. Keep dreaming and stay the course no matter how much you fear, worry, or doubt, and we'll all have a good laugh about this when you get home. So, okay, we are going to bring on our next caller. Casey, who do we have on the line?
This is Tracy Spackman. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Hi, Tracy. Welcome to Blythe's 200th anniversary show. You've got a message for Blythe today. Go ahead.
I do. Hi, Blythe. This is Tracy Spackman. I was so nervous to be on the radio in your show last year. And when you invited me to come onto your show to talk about sleep, you made me feel so comfortable, and it was so easy. And then when you asked me to come back again this year, I was like, absolutely. That was totally fun to be on your show with you. You've just been inspiring to me.
Tracy, thank you so much. Tracy is the sleep coach extraordinaire. If you can't get your baby's children to sleep, you have to contact Tracy Spackman. And if you go to my website, babyinstructions.com, or My Best Parenting Advice, she's an expert on my site as well. She's a magician, honestly. You will sleep through the night. Your baby will sleep through the night before you know it. Thank you so much. You're always so much fun on the show, and you're going to come back again and again because you have such great tips.
Thank you. I really look forward to it.
Thanks for calling in, Tracy. Have a great day.
200 is my new favorite number.
Oh, yay. Mine too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
That's great because, you know what, she just referenced your YouTube video, 200 is my favorite number by Blythe Lipman, so you guys need to check that out. I've got a quick message coming in from Facebook from Sandy Fowler. She says, congratulations, Blythe. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. It's so great to have all this support. And we've got Connie calling in. We've got another call we're going to take. We're just going to take calls for the rest of the hour if we have to. Connie, are you with us?
I am. Hello?
Welcome to Blythe Lipman's 200th anniversary show. You've got a message for Blythe.
I do. Hello?
Hi, Connie.
Go ahead.
There, here I am. I heard there was wine. Do we have wine?
You know what? I had to pour my coffee in my wine cup. It's only 10 of 9 in Arizona. I just couldn't do it. Too early.
Well, congratulations. You are an amazing hostess. You are an amazing author. I have to say the exact same thing that everybody else has been saying. Your books are perfect for gift giving. They should be in every single baby shower forever. They are perfect. And thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you so much for all of that. I so appreciate it. And I'm so happy you called. My gosh, my heart is going to burst. I'm not kidding.
Well,
This is so wonderful.
congratulations. 200.
Thank
I'll
you.
call back on the 400.
Okay, you do that. I can't wait. That'll be another big one. Maybe we'll do video party that time.
Woohoo,
And we'll do wine. Thank you, Connie. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Blythe, this is so exciting. It's so exciting. It's kind of like, this is your life on internet radio. And we've got another caller calling in. And this guy, he's so great. This guy is so much fun. He is a big part of TogiNet Radio. And we are honored to have somebody from the company that produces and promotes baby and toddler instructions on the line with us today. And he's just such a great guy. Eric, are you with us?
I am here.
Oh, woo-hoo! You have a message Blythe today on her 200th show.
Happy 200.
Eric, thank you so much. I have to say, I would not be here without Eric. Eric has had more emails from me and more questions, and how do I make this work? And darn, I'm so frustrated. I don't know how to do this. I would never have gotten here without you and the rest of the TogiNet family. I mean, you guys are absolutely the best. And I'm so thrilled to be part of this radio family. I mean, I can't thank you enough, honestly. I would not be here without you.
I just called in to say it's been so great having you on the station, and just continue on, and we're just thrilled to have you. And, I really don't know how many of these gray hairs are your fault, but I'm sure at least a few of them are.
I think a few. I'm getting better now. It's only once a month. But thank you.
You bet.
Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your show for the last few minutes that you have.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Well, that was Eric from TogiNet Radio, and I got to tell you, Blythe, as soon as Eric came on, there are a bunch of hosts that are following today's show, and they just all typed in Eric with all these exclamation points. We love Eric, and I do want to thank everybody at TogiNet Radio. I'm not going to name everybody because I know I'm going to miss people, but they have done an outstanding job. They are a big part of your 200th show success. So I just wanted to take a minute to say that. And Blythe, I know you have a message that you would like to give. So go ahead. I'm turning the mic over to you.
I cannot say enough thank yous. And honestly, you're making my heart smile so big today and every single week. I have said this over and over. I love what I do. I love helping families. And by the way, just to put this in there, I already put the recalls on babyinstructions.com today because I think it's so important. Our children grow up so quickly, and you have a new baby, and before you know it, they're going to kindergarten. And before you know that, then they're asking for the car keys. And then, my daughter got married last year. She's had a year anniversary on Monday, and it's just so quick. And I am so happy that I can be a part of everybody's lives. And again, I am grateful to everybody at TogiNet and all the wonderful hosts. We have terrific programs on the station. And I am grateful to everybody because, we all learn. We learn from our guests. We learn from our host. And you learn from your children. And that's the biggest thing. If you watch your babies, you learn so much from them. So I just want to say that I am grateful to all the people that make me happy. You are the charming gardeners who make my soul blossom, and you do it each and every week. And I can't wait to be sitting here when it's show number 400, and we have another party. And like I said, maybe by then we'll do video, although I would have to look a little better now. Anyway, I don't know. We have about 30 seconds left, and I think we have a caller. I don't know if there's time. Is there time, Casey?
Blythe?
Okay, who's on the line? We have 10 seconds.
Blythe, it's Irma. Mazel tov. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. This is fabulous.
Oh, Irma, thank you so much for calling. Irma and I went to college together. Thank you for listening. I'm so grateful. Have a great rest of your week. See you next time. Thanks, Sandra. Bye-bye.